Hey, badass business owners, welcome back to the show. Today, I'm going to do something completely different than the original topic I had scheduled because I had the most infuriating week I've had in a really long time. Listen, I'm one of those people that it takes a lot to get me riled up. I have been in business for a very long time, and I have seen my fair share of screw-ups, mess-ups, people doing everything they can to tick me off, people screaming, people in my face, people cussing at me, spitting at me, dude, all those different things. And I have learned how to remain the calm in the storm. I have had a lot of employees through the years that have tried to push my buttons, yet I am the calm in the storm. I have had people that I have been responsible for, and when all the craziness is hitting and they are stressing out and they don't know what to do, I try to be the calm in the storm. I can count on one hand how many times I have been royally ticked off to where I blew my top at somebody since I've been in real estate. I've been a realtor since 2013, and let me tell you something. I just don't lose it. I'm that calm one. I'm the one people come to and everything else. And this week, I lost it. I absolutely lost it. Listen, we all go through weeks. You ever have one of those weeks where nothing goes right? That it seems like everything that you've set yourself up to have a very successful week, everything's lined up. Every single domino is perfectly placed. And all you've got to do is they just need to fall. They just need to go the way that they need to go. Well, this week was one of those where somebody kept moving around my dominoes and moving things and changing things and causing problems. I liken my business to a bicycle wheel. All right. My customer is the center of that bicycle wheel, and I'm the outer rim of that bicycle. And all the spokes are all the different people that have their hands in my transaction to ensure that my customer has a great experience either selling their home or purchasing a home. But because there are so many spokes in a bicycle wheel, that means there's a lot of people who have their hands in each and every transaction. Well, every single person who has their hands in that transaction are business owners themselves, or they work for a business, but they work independently as if they were their own business owner because they're responsible for generating their own sales. So I have vendors, I have, handymen, plumbers, all these different people that help out, roofers, whatever. I have people that do septics. I have people that do water tests. I have people that do, you name it, they help my customer either buy or sell a home. They have some kind of transaction. But I also work with lenders, and I work with title departments, and I work with all these different people that are part of that transaction. You kind of get where I'm going. A lot of people all involved. Well, in order to be successful, to go from one point A to point B, everybody's got to do their part to making it work. Well, last week, I swore every single person was working against me in getting this done. I have never had as many of my clients so ticked off because of something someone else had done, and I'm left being the one that does cleanup to try to keep everybody happy and try to bridge the gap. But the sad part is of this entire thing, it all came down to one common theme. And that's what I wanted to talk about as part of this rant. You see, almost everything was something that was going to happen. It was something, we have hiccups. Things happen. I get it. I don't have an issue with that stuff. I don't like it. I don't like when hiccups happen. I don't like when roadblocks come up. I don't like when, things just happen because of whatever. There's a lot of different reasons. What I care about is how you handle it and how you communicate it. Oh my God, did I just say the word communicate it? What do you mean we communicate? Why would we want to tell somebody there's a problem? Isn't it so much better that they find out when they realize I haven't even reached out and talked to them? Not me, the other person. Let me explain. So throughout the week, I was having hiccups for different reasons. And what was happening was my clients were getting upset at various different things. We're talking like maybe 10 to 12 different people. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of blend them all in to protect the guilty who may or may not be listening, but I'm going to protect the guilty. Okay. But here's the thing. The clients, all they wanted was an answer. The hiccup happened. They had a question about it. In some cases, they needed more information, or maybe they received something that they had a question on and they needed to understand. So they reach out to the person who was sending them the information, and crickets, nothing. Nothing was coming to them. So in their mind, they're being ignored, or in their mind, this person doesn't care about them. So put yourself in the mind of your customers and your clients. When they reach out and they don't hear anything, their brains are wired to fill in the gaps, and they're going to come up with the wildest conspiracy theories, or they're going to come up with the craziest reasons, saying that you don't care, that you don't respond, that you don't do this, you don't do that. And I deal with this on a regular basis. I can tell you that every single week I get a complaint that somebody I've recommended or somebody that they brought to the party did not respond, and that's why they can't do X, Y, or Z. No problem. I'm used to that, but not on the level that I was getting last week on so many different deals. And I'm talking like I said, 10, 12 people. So we're probably talking at least 6, 7, 8, 9 deals of different things that I've got going on with people. And it was a common theme of not responding. You know, if someone sends you an email, then they send you another email, then they send you another email, then they send you another email. They're going to keep sending them until somebody acknowledges. And even if I get it. We are all crazy busy. It is a wild time out there in real estate land. If you know anybody that's in it, it is crazy. But at the same time is we've got to find a way to acknowledge when somebody is reaching out to us. Hey, sorry, I'm tied up at the moment. I'll give you a call by the end of the day, or I'll check back in a few hours, whatever the case may be. Same thing with your guys' business. I mean, you might be up on a roof and someone is blowing up your phone. It's not that you need to stop and answer the phone, but there's this crazy thing on everybody's cell phone nowadays that is an auto response, that when someone is calling you, you tap it and it brings up some responses and you go, sorry, I'm tied up with a client right now. I'll get back with you. Yeah, that's what Tammy has. Tammy has 3 responses to tell you that I'm tied up with a client, or I'm going to call you right back. There's different things that are on there. And every smartphone, if you have a smartphone, you have the ability to do this. Do you know how much that has helped me over the years? Because my clients, or anybody who's trying to reach me, even new clients or potential clients, when they reach me, they know I'm not ignoring them. I'm not like those other agents who just never respond, because I give them an immediate response and it sends this, and they're more likely to wait for me and me to call them back, or they'll just shoot me a text. But I also pay for a transcription, which isn't that much. It's like a couple bucks a month for that voicemail that they send will automatically transcribe. Horribly, by the way, like I have to try to figure out what it's saying, but at least it gives me enough information that I might be able to answer their question. It might be a simple yes or no, or it might be a simple, I'll call you by X time. In some cases, I can resolve a lot of things through text, because between my auto response and between the transcription of their voicemail, I'm able to respond. And if it's something, I've got my notifications that pop up on my phone so that when I see the emails, I might not respond right away. But if I notice the same person is blowing up my phone, or I see the first couple sentences go, oh crap, I better respond to this, I can do that. In today's technology and in today's world, there's so many different ways that you can reach out and respond to people to let them know that you care and that you will resolve their issue. And don't let them fill in the blanks, okay? Don't let them fill in the blanks. And trust me, I understand being busy. I work 7 days a week. I work long, crazy hours. I feel your pain. Sometimes people go, well, you just don't understand. I'm doing this and I'm running all over and no, I do understand. Okay. But one, that's a problem of, we are terrible we've got a lot of business, which is great. And we're running around like crazy, which is great, which means we have opportunities for processes and fine tuning our business so that we don't have to be chickens with our heads cut off. That's one conversation. The second conversation is, while you are crazy and while things are going nuts and you are trying to maximize everything that you can at the moment, for example, I'm running around like crazy because I want to maximize. This is a crazy market. I don't know how long it's going to last. I need to bank as much as I can, right? That's smart business. That doesn't mean I can stop taking care of people. If I'm working with 20 different customers, think about it. They probably have 5 to 10 people that are tied to that deal at the same time. That's hundreds of people. I have to figure out and find a way. How am I going to be able to be a decent communicator with every single person? I strive to be a great communicator, but when you're busy, decent is a good start, and then sometimes you're better than others because you prioritize which files are hot buttons and must do's and deadlines and this and that, and you figure that all out. So and it's something I think that all of us strive and struggle with at the same time. We strive to be better, but we struggle with being better. And I guess if I can give you any piece of advice through all of this is always, always, always be working on the communication aspect. That doesn't mean pick up the phone every single time. That doesn't mean spend hours on email when you're in the middle of other stuff. They're simple little responses. And I hate to tell you this is not going to go away. Today's world and today's technology and everything that is out there as tools for us are required that we respond faster to people. And I don't like it. You don't like it. I wish I could have a moment of peace. That's why I tell people I like being in my car for a few minutes with just everything off. It's because it's a quiet moment. There's no, Tammy, got a second? Hey, can I talk to you? Hey, this. I can tone down that noise for just a few minutes. I have some clients that are 80 years old and they require me to go to their home because they don't use cell phones. They don't use email. They basically require face-to-face and nicest, greatest people in the world. I'm so blessed to meet with them. I've had a blast working with them. And we had this great conversation about why they would never move into the technology of today. They're like, you know what? We have face-to-face conversations. Our heads aren't in our phone and we're not tied to everybody else's agenda. We go with what it is that we want to do. And they are the happiest people in the world. And you know what? I see a lot of people that have been married 30, 40, 50 years, and they just don't like each other. They've been married a long time, and they don't like each other. These two actually genuinely like each other and love each other and everything else. And I wonder sometimes, is it because, they were able to grow in the same direction, because I think some of our relationship issues are we grow in different directions. But in their particular case, they're on the same page, and you know what? They communicate and they talk and they do different things. And it's wonderful. And it's not saying anybody else's relationship is good or bad based off of whatever. But I wonder how much of the letting go of technology makes them happier. And I know I kind of digress off of communication, but it just goes to show that was a whole nother dynamic I had to deal with, because I had a lot to do with these people this week as they're selling their home and they're buying another home, and they had hiccups and problems with their home that was just really ticking me off, because these people had been so patient with stuff. But it wasn't just a simple, I couldn't text them. I could call them, but they had to be home. Otherwise, they were never going to get that message. It wasn't like if they were out and about, they were going to get it. And if I needed a simple signature, which can be done online today, guess what? I had to drive over there, meet with them, communicate, talk with them. I couldn't just be rude and run in and out. And I had to cite them. So something that would normally take me, 15 seconds, a minute, 5 minutes at most, whatever, was taking me now almost an hour to get a simple signature, which normally would require about 5 minutes of my time. So I get it. There's a lot of things that are pulling us for various different reasons. Jobs go longer than what they should. Employees don't show up. People don't do what it is that they're supposed to do. Your phone ringing off the hook, a lot of times is a great thing. It means you've built a great business. It means the marketing and the communication you've been doing is working because you are blessed. I always say that my customers are loving me to death because they keep coming. Okay, that's the same thing for you. But here's the thing, you can't ignore them and you can't let them slip through the cracks just because you're busy. It does mean some longer days when you're having that craziness. It does mean that you need to figure out better processes in order to get things done. But the one thing that has to be consistent is your communication. You cannot be ticking off clients. And if you are a resource of another business owner, you can't tick off their clients, because here's what's going to happen. Not only are you ticking off those clients and you put at risk those clients, you risk that business owner giving you more business. When I look back at this past week, you know what? There was a thought that went through my head that somebody was not going to get any more clients from me, and they've gotten a lot of clients from me. They were not going to get any more clients from me because of this lack of communication and the fact that they kept ticking off different customers. It wasn't just one, it was multiple. And I get it. They were busy as heck and they were going crazy and they were doing everything they could possibly do. But I can't have my clients ticked off. I can't have my people ticked off. So when you work hand in hand with other business owners, you have to keep in mind, it's not just that client that you're ticking off through your bad communication. It is the person who brought you to the party. It's the person who's giving you those leads, because what you're putting at risk is not just that one customer. What you're putting at risk are all the other customers lined up behind them that this other business owner was going to give you. Now, I know I've been ranting and raving here for almost 15 minutes, so I'm going to wrap this up. But my biggest thing is, please, folks, whatever you do, please know that communication is critical to your business. It is critical for the customers that are in front of you, and it is critical for the customers that are to come. And you've got to figure out the tricks, the tips, the cheats, the different ways that you can use your smartphone, if you will, or anything else, or resources, or people that work on your team to communicate with people. It doesn't mean you have to solve that problem right away. What it means is you have to acknowledge the problem. You have to acknowledge the question and then communicate when you're going to be able to fix it. And by the way, you need to do it. You can't just say, hey, I'll do it at the end of the day, and then don't do it. You know what? That's what leads to some of those long days, is because like, oh crap, I forgot to. All right. You need to have a piece of paper that's in your pocket. You don't have to even be old school or new school and do everything. Put a piece of paper in your pocket. I used to work for a district manager that had a single line notepad piece of paper, just the paper in his pocket. And every time he had something that he owed someone or needed to get somebody, he wrote it on the piece of paper, put it in his pocket. And at the end of the day, he went through that entire list and he crossed them off to make sure that he got back to every single person that he promised he would get back to. But he was very focused on what he was doing, but yet he was able to communicate and live up to every single promise that he made on a single piece of paper. He wasn't even trying to use technology to do that. So I just put out to you, please, please, please be better at your communication. Constantly look at ways to be better at your communication. Please find ways and listen and understand. People, when they're mad at you and they're coming at you for communication, they don't care about your excuses. Some of the people that were ticking off my clients this week had great reasons. They had great reasons as to why they couldn't respond, or why they didn't get back, or why they were frustrated, or whatever that lack of communication was. They had a great reason. But here's the bottom line. The person on the other end, they don't care. They don't care. They have their single issue, their single question, or multiple questions. They have their single thing, and they just want to know why and how do they fix it. When's it going to be fixed? Whatever the case may be. They don't care about your other customers. They don't care that you had family emergencies. They don't care that all this different stuff. Sometimes we want to share those other things, and we want to share those family emergencies because we think that we're going to get a little bit more empathy from them and that they're going to be understanding. Yeah, that's not everybody. There might be a couple that do, but most don't care. How many times has someone called you up and say, hey, I know it's your day off, but can I ask you this? They don't care. They acknowledge the fact that it's your day off, but they still want their answer. They still want whatever it is that they have to do. They're like, hey, I know you're busy, but, and they keep going. They don't care. They know, but they don't care. And it's not that they don't care. It's just that in that moment, their problem or their question is the most important thing to them, and they just can't wait to get it off their chest. So please keep in mind, communication is huge. None of us are ever going to be perfect at it. You know, I'm not proud of the fact that I got mad and I told somebody how pissed off I was. But you know what? It helped get the results that it needed to, but I never wanted to get that pissed off that it caused somebody to finally deal with what it is that they needed to deal with, because I never should have gotten to that point, because it was all preventable. The problems couldn't have been prevented. They could have been acknowledged. And what I was ticked off at wasn't the problem, wasn't the hiccup, wasn't the roadblock. I was mad at those. I was disappointed in those, but I didn't convey that. That was internal. What got me ticked off and coming back at somebody was the way they communicated and the lack of communication, and the way that there was not a sense of urgency that it was their problem, when the reality is they were the problem. That's why it became a problem. Yes, there may have been the hiccup, but it didn't have to get to where it was if it wasn't for communication. And this is multiple, by the way. Like I said, this was not one individual. This was just like one of those weeks where it was a perfect storm of a lot of people with lack of communication. And one of the things that I say on this podcast all the time is that when I get the same theme over and over and over, I'm meant to talk about it, which is why I knew this had to be today's topic. So I'm really going to go this time. Please, folks, whatever you do, communication, work on your communication skills, take advantage of the technology in your smartphone, and have those auto responses to people that are trying to call you. Use the transcription services that your phone can do through your provider. It's like $3-4 a month. And I know some of you, that's a big stretch, but I promise you, it will help your communication tenfold. Even though you may not always know what they're transcribing, but you still can pick up the actual voicemail if you want. I mean, I rarely listen to the voicemails because of the transcription services. It saves me so much time. I just have to remember to delete the messages. All right. So with that, I am really going to get out of here. I just want us all to be better. I want us, including myself. I saw opportunities that I could have had this past week, and I think I'm pretty good at least staying in communication with people, because I had somebody fall through the cracks that should not have. We're human. We're going to make mistakes. But when we recognize the fact that we are ticking off those that we need to grow our business and to sustain and to make the profit that we need to figure out what's wrong and how can we fix that and how can we fine tune that. And I promise you, communication is probably one of the biggest leaks that you have in your business today. And I want to challenge each and every person who's listening to this to please constantly work on improving the communication in your business. You will not regret it. It will only benefit you at the end of the day, not only in more sales, but more importantly in more profits, because you're going to have happy people and they're going to be willing to pay the prices that you want to get. All right, with that, I am truly out of here. I will talk to you guys on the next episode. Bye for now. Hey, badass business owner, before you go, as you know, I'm a huge believer in you knowing your business numbers. After all, it isn't about how much you sell, it's about what you keep. And the best way to grow your profits is to start diving in and understanding those business numbers. To help you on this journey, I have created the Know Your Business Numbers course. We will walk through how to read your profit and loss statement. You'll learn the key calculations that'll help ensure that you're making a healthy profit on all of your products or services, plus a ton of other good stuff that'll help you learn how to use those business numbers to create even more sales and profits. Just check out the link below in the show notes or visit knowyourbusinessnumberscourse.com. So if you're ready to increase those profits, it's time you start diving into your business numbers.